How you doing, Dr. McGlone? Uh, First, before I start, I'd like to say thank you for letting me turn this in a little late. It's been a difficult week with my family and everything, but yeah, I really appreciate how you helped me out a little and let me take my time a little more with this. So, me and my family really appreciate that. So, thank you. Um, so the game that I chose to do for my presentation is FIFA 20. I'm Soccer is pretty much my life. I love soccer. Um, Also, I love video games, so those two connect. I've been playing FIFA my whole life. I consider myself a pretty good FIFA player. If there's anyone else in this class who wants to play me in FIFA, I'm down whenever you want. But yeah. So I did FIFA 20 for my presentation. Um, let's get going. So the mechanics of the game. So for mechanics, I took that as just like mechanics of the game, how the gameplay goes. The graphics of the game are pretty good. Um, oh, sorry. Pretty good graphics. People who make the game, they try to make it as real as it can be. Every year it gets better, personally, just as we get more technology. And yeah, you can notice big differences from like FIFA '02 to FIFA 20 now. Just completely different game, and it's so realistic almost that my mom will like come downstairs and she'll be like, "Are you watching a game or something?" And I'll be like, "Nope, just playing FIFA." It looks super real when you play. It's pretty cool. But for mechanics, just kind of about the gameplay. So, um, so mini skill games will definitely help you play if you're not really if you're kind of new to the game. It's kind of just little scenarios you could play in. So you could work on your passing, like a little 1-2 passing, dribbling, shooting, defending, goalkeeping, anything in the game. And honestly, I suggest if you want to get good at FIFA, you're not that good. Start with those. Just grind them out. They're fun. You can make them fun, but they really help you a lot if you play. Um, for defending, a lot of people just like to button mash, kinda press buttons, try to slide tackle. One of the biggest pointers I can give is to not do that. Just kind of be patient, let people come to you. Don't force too much. Just stay smart and take your time and let the attacker come to you on defense. Use time finishing. A lot of people don't know how to finish in the game, and honestly, like any sport, scoring is the most important thing to do. A lot of people know how to set up their attacks, but don't know how to put the ball in the back of the net. Use time finishing. It's easier. You can see the arrow. You can see where you're shooting. You don't have to hold it down. You just press it, and you can just instead of a lot of people like to rip like a 50-mile-an-hour shot. That's not what you need to do. Just a little pass into the net sideways so the goalie can't save it. Works pretty much every time, especially if you're on a breakaway. You just pick one side of the net, either the left or right. Even sometimes you can go middle and get it through the goalie's legs, or you could chip them, but time finishing, definitely biggest thing. Vary your passing. I'm going to talk about more of that on the next slide, but vary your passing. Don't just pass. It's definitely a better idea to pass, dribble, take space, pass. And by vary your passing, that means like don't just pass it on the ground 3 feet to one guy, pass it on the ground 3 feet to the next. It means kind of like chip the ball, chip it in the air, pass it to their chest, headers, through balls, Like a through ball is when you pass it in front of a player so he runs onto it, kind of. Um, yeah, vary your passing, and definitely if you know the game of soccer, that will be easier for you. If you don't know soccer, it will be a little harder because you don't really know the positions to get your players into. Speaking of players, know the players you're using. That's probably the biggest thing. So in FIFA's strengths, um, they lean a lot on players that are fast. And to know those, you need to know which players are fast, which players are slow, which players are really good at shooting, which players are good at passing, defending, and you need to kind of base your team off that. So normally, I like to have my attacker, very like fast player, can break the back of the defense, get behind, uh, you know, um, get behind, and it honestly helps a lot. And I think having midfielders that are fast too, not directly in the middle of the field, but your right wing, your left wing, both need to be fast so they can get up and down the field. And if you're fast, if you have a fast team and you know how to play FIFA, you'll be it. You can really make things happen and get things going. Another thing too is keep your shape. That is big. A lot of people like to they'll be a center back and they'll be running up to midfield, and then it'll just mess their whole team up, and then the other team will steal the ball, break their center backs out of position, find the open hole, score. So it's really important to just keep your defense where your defense should be. Keep your midfield where it should be. Attackers, they have more space to go back and forward, because if your attacker's out of position, you might not allow a goal, but also they won't be in a good position to score. So it's very important to keep your team organized and just keep them disciplined. Don't just have a free for all out there like it's rec soccer. You need to have your team set up like a professional team. All right, so strategy of FIFA. So like I said, knowing how to play soccer really helps you play the game and helps you make good decisions. One of my friends, he's not the best FIFA player, but he's watched soccer his whole life, so he's really good at the game just because of that. He knows how to, like, all it takes for him is to kind of learn the buttons a little more, and he's golden because he knows pretty much everything about soccer, knows what positions to put players into, and just has a really good IQ, especially for passing and defending, and just knows the tempo of the game, and it helps him a lot. And yeah, so I'd say that. Also, I know a friend who knows nothing about soccer, or not nothing, but never played soccer in his life, never really watched it, plays FIFA a lot, and he's really good too. So, I don't know. I think playing soccer gives you more of an understanding of the game, definitely. And I'd say that for about every sports game there is. Like, if you like the NBA, if you play basketball, you'll probably know more if you play NBA 2K than someone who doesn't. You know, that's just how it goes. Um, Big strategy for me too. This isn't really for beginners, it's more for advanced. Quick tactics. It's almost like being the coach of your team, even though it's a video game. Before the game, you can click on a player on your team, and kind of give them instructions, tell them what to do. And I think that's important too, because it'll. Sorry, someone walked in. Sorry, where was I? Yeah, don't neglect quick tactics. Um, Yeah, so this is more for advanced people. For a game, you can click on a player, tell them free roam. Uh, you can tell them to get behind the defense. You can tell them to come back. You can tell your defenders to stay back on defense. You can tell them if they want to move up. If you have a good center midfield player, you can tell him to free roam, which is to kind of do his own thing. And if you have a really good player, that's a really good thing to do because they're smart and they know where to move themselves. You don't really need to tell them what to do. So you can let them kind of do their own thing and they'll help you out a lot. Some advice. This is kind of advice more than a strategy. Master your first touch and know when to shoot a volley. Your first touch is, for people to understand, it's when you first receive the ball, the first thing you do with the ball. When your foot touches the ball. If there's someone on the back of you, it's good to have your first touch forward instead of back, because if you go back, you're just running into a wall. If you go forward, you're more elusive and you have them chasing you. If there's someone on the left side of your hip, almost like your left glute, you might want to turn to your right, get away from him so he's not following you. First touches are big. Thing with volleys, a volley is when you kick the ball when it's in the air. You need to time it. If the ball is right here, you can't press kick it if it's head level because his foot can't reach it. You need to kind of watch the ball sit down, gets to his leg, boom, perfect connection. If you hit it right, it's perfect connection, hits it hard. If you don't, turnover. But that takes time too. That's kind of an advanced strategy. Something for beginners that a lot of people don't really use, but the L2 LT stick, that is the bottom left corner of the controller. If you hold that down, your guy will kind of make like a force field around the ball, so it's harder to steal the ball from him. This can be really big for keeping possession because if you don't have the ball, if you don't have the ball, you're not going to score and you're probably going to lose the game. So I'd say keeping the ball is one of the most important things in FIFA. Even if you're not scoring, it's good to just have the ball. And I hate playing defense personally. I have my whole life. So that's very important too. And just learn the players. If you want to really get good at FIFA, it's important to learn the players, know what players are good, what players work for you, what players you don't like, so you can build a team that just is built around you. Everyone has different gameplay strategies, but that's a very important one for me. So I don't watch competitive FIFA, I just play it, but the top performer, best FIFA player in the world, some guy Tex, Donovan Hunt. I personally thought it was a guy from Saudi Arabia, but this guy must have recently passed him in FIFA 20. And which blows my mind is he has made $377,000 off of playing FIFA, which is pretty much a dream of mine. I think that's awesome. That's like a dream. I'm gonna do this a little quicker because I have a whole other more slides. But so FIFA 20, new in FIFA 20, Volta, which is street soccer kinda. It's like 2v2s, 3v3s. It's awesome. Great addition. Pro clubs is what I play the most with my friends. You just rise up divisions, play other kids online. You pick your own player, you make them, customize them, do whatever you want. It's awesome. Great game feature. In career mode, which is you're pretty much the manager of a team. You can pick your favorite team in the world, manage them, win championships, buy new players, let go of players. It's really cool feature. Tournaments, you can play tournaments whenever you want. You can play tournaments any day you want, honestly. But my timer's about to run out. I'm gonna end this video and do a new one and post the other one.